How you doing, people? Robert here, AKA Robess, Anti-Corruption Scotland. I'm going to speak about a subject here that doesn't seem to be getting covered, right? And as people know, I've done videos on fraudulent council tax. I've also proven, without a shadow of a doubt, that the name that you are registered in the birth certificate is a Crown copyright owned name. Doesn't matter the format, all capital, or first letter uppercase, lowercase, second name, first letter, and the rest lowercase is still Crown copyright name. Your identity has been stolen, people, right? I've also proven that in the court they put a spiral bound folder of names to a clerk in the court, and it goes to a Tom and Jerry hearing for a summary warrant application. And what happens is the one name, the first name on the list, is used to get the summary warrant for everybody else. So if there's 400 people, that one warrant is used to get the other 399 names and put charges against them. Expense charges for the sheriff officers, which is unlawful, fraud at the highest level. Now, somebody gave me a document. It's a charge for payment of money, right? In the action. The applicant, Renfrewshire Council, Municipal Buildings, Cotton Street, Paisley, PA1 1LD. Now, firstly, there is no man or woman called council. This is words and conduct, writing to deceive and defraud, fraud at the highest level, and fraud is under Scots law. No ifs or buts about it, people, right? I'm not going to give you the full name, and I'm not going to give you the individual's address because that's their property, right? But you get and comprehend what I'm going to do, right? The debtor's name, Margaret, and their address with her postcode, right? It stays here to Margaret, the address, postcode, right? On the 14th day of May, 2024 years, a summary warrant against you, use a word they used to hodge surety and libel people, was granted in the Sheriff Court at Paisley for payment of the sum of money in the above action. I, right, Julie Weir, right, I can give you her name because she's a tyrant that works for Walker and Love, Sheriff Officer, right? Now remember this, people, it's not the Sheriff Officer that's making the application for the fraudulent summary warrant. It's a woman that hides behind that mask. As I keep telling you, fictitious corporate names, fictitious masks to escape liability, and this is how they do it. 16 Royal Exchange Square, Glasgow, G1 1AB, by virtue of a summary warrant in His Majesty's name and authority, and in the name and authority of the Sheriff, charge you, again, the word to odds surety are liable, to pay the total sum due and set out below within 14 days after the date of this charge to the applicant per Walker and Love, 16 Royal Exchange Square, Glasgow, G1 3AB. Right now, people, pay attention and listen to what I'm going to tell you, because this is even a higher fraud, right? They're saying in His Majesty's name and by his authority, right? His Majesty, the man known by the name of Charles. His Majesty is a fictitious title hidden behind to escape liability. At the end of the day, it's the man Charles, right? He has no authority over the sovereign people, right? In the legal system, in the legal world, you're a person, a citizen, and under his realm, you are a subject, right? He has no control over the sovereign people. Buckingham Palace is a private corporation registered in Dun and Bradstreet. Everything in this legal system, legal society, is incorporated. It's nothing to do with the sovereign people or the sovereign lands of England, Ireland, Wales and Scotland. Doesn't matter what words is on this document or any document. Words don't control your lives, right? If you let words frighten you or the man or woman, then you've got an issue. It says then, people, if you do not pay this sum within 14 days, you are liable to have further action taken against you. There's a magic word, you. Including arrestment of earnings, arrestment and execution and attachment and auction of articles belonging to you, right? You relates to the person, something that doesn't exist, right? You are also liable to be sequestrated, declared bankrupt, if the same be competent. This is a bit people don't get. It's the person, the dead legal entity they're referring to, not the sovereign man or woman, because no man or woman has the authority over any other man or woman on this planet, unless they're claiming that man or woman property. There's a contract with the man or woman in the private side, or the man or woman that represents the corporation in the corporate side, right? They 3 points there. If they don't have that, they have nothing. And words on paper that they put is just a load of nonsense, okay? The charge they served on you today by me. Does it say the woman? It says me, another legal terminology to deceive the people, right? Depositing and witnessed by some man called Robert Craig, witnesses of Royal Exchange Square, Glasgow, G13AB, right? Then it tells you the date and the year. The council tax reference, the year to year that they want in list 1. The sum now due below, the sum due as on warrant, the total amount is 1,015.12, right? And 177 adjustments 50, right? Expenses of sheriff officers £79.10. So there you go, people. And at the bottom it gives the name of the woman, the address and postcode, and it's all capital letters, right? All capital letters. Something that is dead, does not exist, the same as in a gravestone in a yard, a graveyard, right? Now, this is terrible that people can't see this. They're using a form of coercion here by using the fictitious title, His Majesty's name, by his authority. He doesn't have any authority. So the question is going to be asked here, right? They say that the council is the applicant. They say by the authority of His Majesty and his name, right? So the question is going to be asked, who does the debt belong to? Because the man Charles, acting in capacity as king, the fictitious title, can't he say you owe money? Because you have no contract with him and he has no power or authority over the sovereign people. The men and women, do you get that? Men and women, no person. People have to challenge this, right? The other thing as well relating to the sheriff, you never know who the sheriff's name is. It's never stated. You never see the summary warrant. When the process is finished in their Tom and Jerry administrative hearings, all documentation is given back to the men and women that act in capacity as sheriff officers, and then is given back to the entity known as council. Right? This is why people are reluctant to give their name, because they're the ones that can be held in a private capacity under full personal liability for a claim, and a false claim that they're making for a false fictitious debt. This is a fictitious debt, people. Renfrewshire Council, Glasgow City Council, 2 examples of private corporations registered in Dun and Bradstreet. They've got to abide by the law of contract. It says 1992 Government Finance Act. That relates to persons, liable, right? The question I keep asking people, are you a person? Or are you a man or a woman? Does the act apply to the man or woman? Can it be verified in the act that you are the person? It can never be verified you're a person by any man or woman in the legal system, legal society, right? As I keep telling you, there's 2 jurisdictions, legal and lawful. Lawful relates to the man or a woman, the sovereign man or woman. Legal relates to the person, the corporation, the dead entity, right? Person has the same status and legal rights as the corporation, and that's what people don't comprehend and understand. So let me be clear and verify this, even under a charge of perjury, anywhere, any court, right? You are not a person. You can never be a person. It's the same as the driving licence and the passport for 2 examples. That is not yourself, because it has no life, it can't speak, can't do anything. It's an image of the man or woman. It's an illusion that that is you, and that's how the legal system, legal society portray it to the people, and that's what they have to understand. Everything in this legal system, legal society is fraud. A council cannot make a claim for a debt. The only way that could be done is if some man or woman representing that dead legal entity, Glasgow City Council, Renfrewshire Council, come forward and make a claim. But they'll have to produce a contract in the private side or the corporate side, or they'll have to claim the man or woman property, right? And the other issue here is, if it's a private corporation registers in Dun and Bradstreet, they keep saying they don't need a contract. Well, that's a load of nonsense. They're a private corporation. They don't make laws. It's no lawful, it's legal. They don't make laws, right? They keep telling you have the same song sheet, the same nonsense at every different council, different level. It's always the same nonsense that they spout to the people, and people take it in like sponges. They soak it in like a sponge. But people have to change their way of thinking. Now, I hope people pay attention to what I've just said here about charge for payment of money, right? No man or woman can charge you any money without a contract, right? The courts are even corrupt. The court, as they call court, isn't a court, it's a corporate place of business. Administrative hearing, registered in Dun and Bradstreet. It's acting ultra vires. The councils, the men and women behind it, hiding behind the mask, is acting ultra vires. The sheriff officers are acting ultra vires, right? They're committing misconduct in a public office, right? And that's a crime. It can only be tried in indictment. So listen to what I'm telling you, people. Pay attention. As I keep saying, I do this with good heart, good intention, right? I'm not getting ego. It's not about doing videos. It's about educating people so they know they have rights. No legal rights, lawful rights, inalienable and inherent right, and the law is inherent within. No right from wrong. But these tyrants in the administrative hearings, these tyrants in the councils, and these tyrants in Walker and Love, Scott & Co, Stirling Park, no right from wrong. But they're prepared to go the full hog for the greed of money to commit wrong. Anyway, people, I hope you find this information interesting. It's the truth. And as I said earlier in the video, I'll verify this in any court jurisdiction in the lands of Scotland, England, Ireland or Wales, Court of Session, Supreme Court or beyond. Now there's a wee point I want to cover as well. This is a message to the men and women that represent the dead legal fiction TikTok. This morning, before 9 o'clock, I put a video up covering a lot of points in it. Serious points, truth, fact, no opinion, no misinformation is stated on your claim that you took the video down. You took the video down unlawfully, right? Everything I say, and this is to the men and women that represent TikTok, can be verified under a charge of perjury. Something that the people in TikTok cannot do, right? But what they do is suppress the truth. Accuracy, no misinformation, fact and truth. And everything I say on these videos is true and fact and can be verified under a charge of perjury. So taking that video down this morning, as far as I'm concerned, was not necessary. Or is it the case, TikTok, the men and women behind this, that hide behind that mask? And let me tell the men and women behind this, I know how this system works back to front, people, right? I know how the fraud is perpetrated against the people on these YouTube, TikTok, BitChute, governments, police, etc., etc. I know how this system works. I've been doing it for 13 years. It's diabolical that you took that video done this morning, especially when everything in it is the truth, right? I've appealed the decision, and if there's any reasonable men and women that represent TikTok, see that video. You'll see there's nothing untoward in it, right? It's all fact and truth. And that's a fact, right? Anyway, people, I just had to get that wee bit in this morning. I put a video up this morning, just over 17 minutes long, with information that's in the public interest to get the understanding of what's going on, right? And it was taken down. And the best laugh is that I don't know who does this. I don't know if it's AI or some man or woman representing this. The video ran, I checked the statistics, it ran for 1.5 seconds and it was taken down. I don't even think I talked in the 1.5 seconds. There was no views and there was no running time apart from 1.5 seconds. What's that all about, people? This is the problem we've got here with all these corporations, and that's what TikTok is, the same as YouTube, Google, Facebook, BitChute, Brighton, and all the rest. Corporations, right? Working with corporations to suppress the truth. Remember that, people. If that was misinformation, and they think that, they're wrong, totally wrong. Anyway, people, I've spoken about this charge for payment. Please share this video far and wide. Get everybody out there to pay attention to this, because nobody, as far as I'm aware, nobody's ever talked about the charge for payment of money with the sheriff officers, the men and women that represent it, Walk on Love, Stirling Park, etc., etc. Now I've explained it. Who is this debt belong to, the alleged debt? It's an alleged fictitious debt, people. No man or woman, sovereign, has to accept any services from any private corporation like Glasgow City Council, Renfrewshire Council, etc., etc., without contract, full terms and conditions, wet ink signatures. Okay, 3 examples, right? And a man or woman coming forward to make that contract. You cannot interact or contract with a corporation, a fictitious name such as Glasgow City Council. It has no right of mind to contract. It can't pick up a phone. It can't speak to you. It can't write a letter. Right? But the men and women hiding behind that mask does that. That's why when people write to the entity known as council to get a response, it's not coming from the council. It's coming from some man or woman hiding behind the mask. Anyway, people, I'm going to leave it at that. Again, please share this far and wide, and hopefully this video will be left up, right? Because the document has came from sheriff officers. It's a fact. It can't be rebutted, and it's no misinformation. I'm going to leave it at that, people. Take care, be safe, and I'll speak soon.